Hi everyone, my name is Jill McDevitt and I'm the reading specialist at PSD. Today we're going to go over some quick tips for supporting literacy at home. All right, so here we go. Our first step is language development. So when we are learning how to read and write, it's really important that we have a strong first language. So the way we do that is to create a language-rich environment as much as you can. So it doesn't matter if your child's first language is ASL, is English, or another spoken language. We just really want to make sure that first language is as strong as we can. So the way to do that is surrounding your child with as much language as possible from the start. So if your child's first language is ASL, you want to get everyone in the household involved and signing as much as possible. And that means when you're having conversations at home, signing if your child who is deaf or hard of hearing is there. That way they have access to that language and they can absorb as much language as possible. In the same way, if your child's first language is a spoken language, you want to make sure their equipment is on and it's working. That way your child has as much opportunity to absorb as much language as possible. Then later on, when they are learning how to read and write, they have that strong foundation to go from. The next thing we're going to talk about is reading every day. Just making it part of your daily routine with your child. Whether that means reading a story every night before your child goes to bed or finding another time during the day that works for you. And it doesn't have to be just books. It really could be anything. Just so that you're reading with your child sees you reading every day. It could be magazines or newspapers or books, even if it's the same favorite book again and again. Making it part of your daily routine will have a positive impact. And also, reading every day exposes your child to new vocabulary, different language than would be involved in regular everyday conversation. So it gives your child a chance to just get exposed to different types of language. And also, they might find a favorite author or a favorite series that they really like. Your child might bring home books from school. They might have library books, or they might have RIF books, which are books they get to keep. So check in with your child, check out their book bag to see if they're bringing books home, because those are great books also for them to read to you and show you what they're learning in school. If you're new to learning ASL, and you have a young child who's in our early childhood program or our elementary program, you might want to get involved with our shared reading program. And that is a program where we pair you up with a deaf adult who will sign stories with you and your child and mentor you in how to sign stories. So that's a great thing to take advantage of if you have a young child. And when you're reading with your child, you can do things like discuss the pictures, ask your child questions, have them make predictions about what's going to happen next in the story. Don't feel tied down to just the words that are on the page. Make it as interactive as you can. One of the things your child will be learning to do in our elementary program is reading a sentence in English and then translating that sentence into ASL. So encourage your child to do that at home. And when you're reading with your child, do that as much as you can. That way they are getting the concepts that are on the page as well in ASL, and then they're looking at the print in English. And the last thing we're going to talk about is homework help. If your child's in elementary school or older, depending on their programming, they'll likely have weekly vocabulary words. So practicing those words at home as much as you can will help your child with their retention of those words. So whether you're doing flashcards with them or playing games or looking at those words in different sentences, just giving your child as much practice as you can. So just with what we talked about with the library books, check out your child's book bag, talk with your child's teacher about their weekly vocabulary, and that will go a long way. All right, so those are just some quick tips, some easy things that you can try out at home to support your child's literacy development.